Commentators say they've never seen anything like it in Australian politics. A Member of Parliament secretly records his senior colleague, the Deputy Premier, because he feels he's being pressured. That MP then goes public about the tape to back up his version of events. The bizarre situation all comes back to a campaign to get rid of former Police Chief Commissioner Simon Overland.
It all amounts to much ado about nothing.
An innocent form of taking notes.
He recorded as an aide memoir.
Or something much more sinister.
The implication of the tape recording is that Victoria's own police minister was attempting to get another Member of Parliament to change their evidence.
Have you ever heard in Australian politics of a parliamentary secretary tape recording a police minister?
No, I certainly haven't heard of that before.
The Baillieu government thought it had put this scandal to bed. A campaign run by the police minister's advisor to bring down Police Chief Commissioner Simon Overland and replace him with his deputy Sir Ken Jones. The police watchdog found that Liberal MP Bill Tilley was part of the plot and met with Sir Ken to discuss the move. Mr Tilley says he told his boss, Peter Ryan. The police minister says that never happened.
We have a different recollection as to one element of a conversation which occurred more than 12 months ago.
At the time, the men released a joint statement saying they agreed to disagree. But now there's this, a claim from Bill Tilley 8 months later that he felt pressured by the police minister to match his version of events.
On the 2nd of November, I was sitting in the car and the telephone rang. I answered it and started a conversation. Yes, it was with Peter Ryan, the Deputy Premier. Some things were said. At that stage, I hadn't activated a micro cassette. The conversation continued. I felt that some of those things that were said in the initial parts of that conversation, yes, using the word verbaled. Yes, I have used the word verbaled. And I wanted to adopt what was said as a form of notes in the event that it needed to establish the truth to a particular issue.
Mr Tilley, a former policeman, secretly recorded the conversation. Apart from an interview on local radio, he's refused to answer further questions, such as why he decided to go public with the recording.
What are you intending to do with that recording?
Absolutely nothing at this stage.
Wait a minute. Can I just say, I'm not going anywhere until everybody has finished asking the last question.
The police minister categorically denies he tried to push his former parliamentary secretary into anything.
Bill apparently came to that conclusion or expressed that concern, and that's fine. That's fine by me. No problem at all. Bill Tilley is a top bloke.
With a one-seat majority, the Premier Ted Baillieu is also keen to play the issue down. He's still dealing with another scandal, that of MP Jeff Shaw, who's accused of rorting parliamentary entitlements and could be investigated by the Ombudsman.
Is it appropriate for an MP to secretly record a conversation with a colleague?
Peter's indicated to you this morning he didn't have a problem with it, and I think you guys do it from time to time for your own use. And
not secretly.
Well, I don't know how you do it, but I'm told you do it for your own use from time to time. And Peter's indicated he has no problems with it, and I'm not going to get caught up in the minutiae of that.
Are you comfortable with that, though? Are you comfortable?
Do you have a problem with it? Well, it's not something I'd do.
Is it as extraordinary to you, though? Have you ever heard of a colleague secretly tape recording another colleague?
I've never asked, Josie. Have you asked?
But in the Broad, what does it say?
No, I don't know. I don't know, and you don't know, and none of us know. So.
Premier, do you think Bill Tilley has been disloyal in his actions?
Listen, Bill Tilley's a good Member of Parliament. He's a strong local member. He's passionate about policing. I've said this before. And he has my full support.
I think it's interesting to see.
The opposition says this situation is precisely what the government's promised anti-corruption commission should be investigating. It's due to be up and running in July, but that looks increasingly unlikely.
Mr Tilley stands by the evidence that he gave to the OPI, evidence that he happily admits that he gave under oath. The police minister dodges the question as to whether or not he gave his evidence under oath. Now, Bill Tilley lost his job and the police minister wants to tell us to move on and there's nothing to see here. There is much more to this story than we're being told, and I think Bill Tilley taping the police minister just gives us a taste of what might be to come.
It does suggest some evidence of turbulence within the government.
Political analyst Paul Strangio describes the events of this week as highly unusual. They've certainly provoked mutterings about divisions between Nationals and Liberals and reported unhappiness with Ted Baillie's leadership.
His cautious, methodical style, almost like the tortoise will get there in the end. It'll win the race over the long haul. But on another level, I think that leadership style, it sometimes means there's a sense he almost vacates the field. And when you are the Premier, it can leave a vacuum and other voices fill it. And that can be a danger for the government when it's under pressure, such as in the past week.